always had a thing for trucks.
If you love what you do, it's not work.
Growing up, it was natural for me to just become a truck driver.
I'll tell you right now, I'll be the guy in the loony bin talking to myself.
It's hard.
From that movie Castaway.
I know.
I'll be talking to Wilson. Hey, this is Steve with LRM Leasing. In this episode of Truck Talk, we have a good friend of ours. His name is Shawn, and we're going to talk about his path of him becoming an owner-operator. We're going to start where he began, all the crazy stuff in the middle, and then again at how he became an owner-operator. And now he owns his own truck. So how you doing there, Shawn?
Doing all right. How you doing?
It's been a busy day for me over here.
I hear you.
So want to just hop right into it. How did you get into trucking?
I got into trucking, I guess, as I was a little kid. I've always enjoyed trucks. I've always liked trucks. I always had a thing for trucks. So just growing up, it was natural for me to just become a truck driver. Growing up, I always wanted toy trucks. I had every Tonka toy you could think of, every die-cast truck you can think of I had. So it was just a natural thing for me.
Oh, and how did you get started? How did you get your career started in trucking?
I started 19 years ago at my first job, I believe, was at a place called Ricky's Oil in Miami. I started there, and from there I just been pretty much just moving around. like a pretty good just been moving around, man. From there, I did so many things in my career. I've done flatbed, I've done, hauling equipment. I worked at Coca-Cola for a little while. Pretty much a lot of different places.
All right, and then now currently you're owner-operator, is that correct?
Yeah, I've been an owner-operator for about 5 years now. Or 6 years, rather. 6 years.
And if you were going to have to tell some of the new guys coming into the industry, what would be your advice? Like, what would be the first step you think they should start out as a trucker?
I always say this: if it's not really in your heart, don't do it. You got to really be a truck driver. Truck driving, to me, it's really special to me because it's not just about the money for me. It's about the career and about really getting this freight moved where it needs to be moved to, or whatever it is that you're doing. So I always, I believe that if it's not in your heart and you're just doing it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because we need more dedicated people to be out here to understand the safety part of being a truck driver. It's not just going down the road moving something. It's all about safety. It's all about keeping people safe. You going home the same way you came to work, and vice versa for everybody else. Keeping, just staying focused and doing what you need to do so that you can be productive in your day and your career and everything that you got going on. So my opinion, if it's not in your heart and it's not something that you think you want to do for a long period of time, and it's just something you're just trying to do to get over, it ain't for you.
I feel the same way, especially becoming a mechanic for doing this for 23 years. I got to say, if you love what you do, it's not work. So it's something I enjoy. I tell you right now, I wake up every morning, come in here, not regretting it whatsoever. I actually enjoy what I do, the problem solving, the people that I meet that I can remember. But usually it's the vehicles I remember that I know the most. So, like you said, if you have it in your heart, right? And let's say we have a guy that he's saying, hey, what do I have to do from this point to get to this point as an owner operator? What steps do you think that person should do when they start out in this industry? Do you say, hey, go get a truck right away and figure it out? Or is there certain steps you think they should take to build a foundation? I can only talk from a mechanic's point of view, like my foundation, learn the school, learn the basic knowledge. This is a starter, this is a tire, this is brakes, and then you slowly build from there and your education. I would have to assume that it would have to be the same way with trucking. The only difference would be is like, what should that person do to start? If he has it and loves what he's going to do to travel and see things, what is your advice to get from here to there?
Well, number one advice, you got to realize if you're a responsible person. If you're not responsible, being an owner operator is not for you. You have to have some type of backbone money put away. You can't just come in the game empty-handed. You can't just say it's so much more than just going to get a truck and just be an owner operator, because within your first week you can have all type of mishaps and all types of boo-boos. Anything could happen in just the beginning stage of you becoming an owner operator. And that will make you or break you. And like literally, you can become an owner operator on a Friday, and by next Friday, you're back being a company driver because you don't have the money or what it takes to to be a real owner operator to be able to maintain your truck to survive out here. You know, whether you're local or if you're over the road. If you're over the road, it's 10 times worse. You have to have double the money that you would have to have locally to survive being an owner operator. You have to be responsible. You have to care a whole lot more because it's not it's your equipment now. It's your truck. So anything happens to it, it's on you. There's nobody to turn to. There's nobody to cry to. There's nobody to call your dispatch and say, "Hey, I need another truck. This one's broke." Doesn't work that way. So it's a lot of steps. You have to be very responsible. You can't make the money and spend it. You got to make the money and put it away for rainy days. And then once you reach to a certain goal, I would say base point for me was 50,000. Once I reached $50,000, then I was able to have a little bit of freedom and play. I was able to do things that I wanted to do. But until you reach that goal, and I would say if you're going to be over the road, you would need probably about 100 grand in your account safely to to be able to run over the road because anything could happen. You can have a motor blow, and right there, 60 grand gone. And once that motor blows, you might get up and say, okay, well, I fixed the motor, got a brand new motor. Might go down the road, tire blow, or two tires blow. That's another two, three, 4 grand. So you would have to have a lot of money put away to be an owner operator, my opinion.
I think the way I teach my kids is, you have to. I have a rainy day account, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen. My daughter needs a surgery for her ear. Got to make sure I got that 10 grand in the back. It's anything like that in life. I think, like you said, especially over the road or staying local, you got to have a certain amount of funds. You don't know. You can buy a truck today. I don't even think it matters if it's new or used. Like you said, you can drive. I've seen it before on new or used ones. You can drive a week, a few days, tire blows, wheel seal goes out. And if you don't have a warranty, especially on a new trucks have bumper to bumper. You only have a certain amount of a few thousand miles before that warranty goes out. And if it's a used truck, you're kind of stuck with it. It sucks, but it's the truth. And I've always heard where, hey, I just bought this truck and it should last 6 months. And I keep telling them, I was like, I wish I had that capability of saying that this truck will last that long. But nobody, not even a mechanic in their right mind, would ever say that to another person. It's just because we don't know. We don't know the condition of the seal. We don't know. I mean, I've had a brand new tire that I put on a customer with a brand new wheel, and I rolled it to his truck and it blew up. And that was like at the beginning of my career, and it was a name brand tire too. It wasn't just some cheap tire that you find laying around. It was a name brand tire with a name brand wheel, and you just don't know. So if anybody wants to get into trucking or anything, I think you should always have that extra security in case of a rainy day happens. So I like what you said where, if you're an owner operator, you have to be, passionate about it. You have to be responsible because, you staying on top of your maintenance and like your loads and looking over your truck where you have to have that self discipline to look over your own truck and your own equipment. Where now let's shift the roles a little. What happens if he's a company driver? Now, I know quite a few. Everybody knows, Schneider, Covenant, Prime, Swift. They all have a program, and they have a set of rules. I'm assuming for maintenance when they got to bring it in and so forth. So they already have structure for I'm assuming a company driver. Is that correct?
I was a company driver for quite a few companies. I was the same way. If the equipment breaks, they may tell you to go home. But I was the type of person, I'm very responsible, whether it's mine or it's not. I've always believed in taking care of people's stuff because that same guy is in business to make money. So I've never been the type of person to say, "Hey, it's not mine, so I don't care about it." I've always been the type of person, whether it's mine or it's not, I'm going to take care of it the same way. And definitely, if it's mine, I'm going to double and triple take care of it because it's mine to take care of. But I just believe in whether you're my friend or you're not my friend, whether I know you or I don't know you, I believe in helping you grow. So if I'm going to be an employee at your company, I'm going to do my best to make sure that you stay in business because you may have a family or someone that you're taking care of And I want to see that. I want to see you do that. I want to see you win, whether I know you or I don't know you. That's just what makes the world go round for me.
All right. And then, as an owner operator in your truck, what would be your typical day? Um, like, just tell us how your day would start out from the beginning to the end.
Well, I'm the type of person, I'm the type of truck driver. I like to start early. So I'm usually up at maybe 1, 2 in the morning, depending on what type of loads I got, what I'm doing. I move a lot of hazmat. As of right now, I'm moving a lot of butane and propane. So I'm up early in the morning to try to get my day started before all, all the people come out. And, I I just like to get my day started because I don't like the traffic. I don't like the people cutting me off. I don't like the people who just don't have no regards to anything. They just wake up to just like they want to ruin everybody's day. I try to avoid those people. So I like to wake up early. I'm usually on the road 1, 2, 3 in the morning when the coyotes are still out hunting. That's what I like. That's when I like to be out. So my day just sometimes I have very good days. Some days I have crazy days. But I more than likely I try to keep my days pretty positive. I try not to let a lot of the stuff that's on the road bother me. Especially like, when I'm delivering, I probably get my load and I go to my delivery spot. I'm there for about an hour or two and get back on the road. So, usually I have pretty good days.
You said you did hazmat. I'm assuming that because that's not just a regular CDL license. You have to have an endorsement for that. Is that correct?
Yeah, you have to have hazmat and tankers if you're doing tankers. Some companies you only require to have tankers, but it's not hazmat. And some companies you need to have your hazmat and tankers. So of course I have to have both because I do hazmat and tankers. I do butane, propane, and ammonia and acid.
All right. And what are some of the challenges that you would have on the road when you're doing your deliveries or even just trying to get home?
Inconsiderate people, man. That's the biggest challenges of a truck driver, man. People who don't care, people who just want to come out and just ruin your day for whatever reason. And I feel like there's people out there that just come out on the road to just ruin your day, to just purposely come out to just make sure somebody has a bad day.
So you're saying that when someone cuts you off, the truck doesn't stop on a dime?
Truck don't stop on a dime. People need to understand that. I think, in my opinion, I've always said this that people who have regular Class E driver's license should take somewhat of a 15 to 20-minute truck driving understanding course to understand the dynamics of a truck and how trucks work. Just something brief to understand that trucks can't stop on a dime. You know, if it's raining, you definitely don't want to be in front of a truck. If I weigh 80,000 pounds and your car weighs 4,500 pounds, there's no reason for you to be next to me. There's no reason for you to sit there and just drive next to me like if your car can't go. Another thing is on some highways, we can't ride the left lane. But most of the time, the left lane's wide open. Everybody wants to be in the right and the middle lane. And the left lane is wide open. Why do cars prefer to be in the middle lane right in front of a truck instead of just being in the left lane? Or even if you ride the right lane or the middle lane, there's no reason for you to be sitting right in front of my truck.
Well, they don't know what exit to get off.
Hey, haul ass,
You gotta make that last minute turn
last minute
and
turn
cut everybody else off.
and cut everybody off. So, man, my biggest thing, man, is just people really need to get a small course and understand what it is we go through every day, man. Just being in a way bigger vehicle, understand that, well, an empty truck, and I'm just speaking on just what I haul. Empty, I'm 42,000 pounds, and that's because my truck is pretty light. Loaded, I'm 80, 79, 78,000 pounds. Why would you want to be next to me?
Not only that, you're hazmat too. I don't know why they would want to be next to you.
Hazmat. I haul especially when I'm hauling ammonia. Ammonia is one of the most dangerous things you could ever haul. It will kill you instantly. If anything was to ever puncture that trailer and that ammonia starts leaking out, it will freeze your lungs, kill you, stifle you to death instantly. Don't understand why people don't understand these type of things. And that's why I feel like DOT should take a lot more time to consider training regular people. When you get your license, whether it's like you get a Class E license, some people should be trained on these type of things. They should be able to go through a course and watch a course on what other vehicles on the road besides cars go through and what you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and to be more cautious on what you do.
That's definitely one of the, I got to say, one of the biggest challenges, especially for semis. I mean, I've only moved a few trucks myself in my career. I know I sweat every time because car cuts me off and I'm trying to not put my foot on the pedal and I'm getting ready for the brake and the Jake brakes and I still sweat. I got to give you props on that. I only do it when someone asks me nicely and I might do it. Other than that, I don't like driving it.
But it will mentally drain you.
Driving a truck, test driving, I'm okay with, but moving a truck and a trailer, not unless you're a good friend of mine. I'm just not doing it.
It will mentally drain you. It'll drain you. It'll drain your whole day, man. It'll take a lot out of you, and that's one of the reasons why I usually start very early in the morning, because by the time all the crazy people come out, I'm either finished with my first load going to get my second, or if I only got one load, even better, because now I'm done. I just go park, and I can just enjoy the rest of the day. But I usually try to get my day started very, very early, so that way I can deal with the the less people I can deal with, the better for me. So that's just me.
So let's change gears a little bit. Let's talk about family life. Um, are you married?
No, yeah, I got 3 kids. I got 3 daughters.
You have three daughters, and I'm assuming that at home you have some friends. So how do you stay connected to your kids and your friends at home while you're over the road?
Well, for the most part, I'm pretty local. It just been recently. The company that I work for, we lost a major contract down here in Miami, and lately I've been having to run up to Tampa and Dade City to work out of Dade City and Tampa. So pretty much now I've been for last 4 months or so. I drive up usually on Mondays or Tuesdays. I only usually work 4 days because of the fact that I got to work over the road. So I usually drive up, work 4 days, and I come home on the weekends. And I usually take 3 days off.
So you have that 3 day weekend, and then spending time with the friends and kids.
Everybody, yeah, everybody that, yeah. So it hasn't been easy. It's been a little difficult because I've never really been an over the road driver. I've pretty much been local my whole life.
Well, that's good.
And this is kind of like partial over the road because I'm not really going out of Florida. I'm usually just Orlando, Jacksonville, Dade City, Tampa area, but still sleeping in the truck every night, taking shower at truck stops.
You're probably out what, maybe 1 or 2 days at a time.
4 days.
So you're over the road, still spending a night out there once in a while. What are some of the crazy things that you've seen on the road so far?
You see so much crazy stuff on the road, man. You see a lot of just weird things, man. I mean, things you really you just people. I don't know, man. Sometimes it's like feeling like you're just in an episode of Men in Black. Like you just see all type of weird things, man. Weird people.
Do you have anything that sticks out? Like one thing that you may have seen over the road, that one thing that sticks out to you the most? That was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened.
Usually that happens to me when I see accidents.
Right.
When I see accidents, I just wonder how did this happen, or how did that happen? And there's no rain on the road. There's nothing. There's no there. How did something like that happen? Was the driver not paying attention? What was the what happened? So usually, typically that happens to me during accidents, like or stuff like that. But I haven't really been, since me staying local.
Okay.
Certain Florida's pretty cool for the most part. So you really don't see too many crazy things in Florida. But I know if I've heard stories of all kind of weird stuff over the road that you see. But I'm a Florida boy, so I like to stay home, Florida. As long as I'm in Florida, I'm good.
So, like you said, you've been in Florida. I mean, I can think of a few places, but what are some of the truck stops that you like to visit, and what are the worst ones you try to avoid?
Any truck stop that's not clean.
I feel like that's gonna be a tough one. I've been to a lot of truck stops.
Well, there's a lot of truck stops, like a lot of pilots and stuff like that. They're just recently being built, and those are the ones I typically like to stay at, or take a shower at. I'm very big on clean bathrooms. That's like my thing. As a man, a bathroom is important to us. So I'm very big on clean bathrooms, dude. So I like having a clean bathroom, somewhere clean to take a shower. People who care, about the cleanliness of the bathroom. So I'm very big on just trying to find somewhere decent to take a shower, or if I gotta sleep, somewhere to sleep. So that's just my biggest thing, dude. I just like
Just trying to find a clean place. So, from what I'm hearing, is like once you find a new shop opening up, go there first.
go there first. Oh yeah, if you can get a chance to go there, yeah, go there. So like I had a truck stop that I was in Jacksonville one day, and it was a brand new Love's, brand new. I mean, I felt like I was in Caesar's Palace, dude, in Las Vegas. It was brand new showers. The doors was brand new. The towels didn't have creepy stuff on it.
Give it a month. So, what would be like a great place for food in Florida? Like
Anywhere barbecue.
anywhere barbecue? Anything particular? What city might be like you would go back there to visit twice or three times to make sure you roll through that area for that barbecue?
Honestly, dude, there's one place that I go to in Eagle Lake.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it, but dude, other than that, Sonny's.
I tell my wife all that. I was like, let's go to Sunny's. She's like, that's a chain. And I was like, man, I like their barbecues also. So good.
If it's too far, I'll Uber Eats or whatever to get my barbecue, dude. So that's pretty much what it is.
All right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I love barbecue. That's for sure. So you have a good playlist out there while you're rolling around?
Yeah, man. I listen to. I have my own personal playlist that I like to listen to, but man, I just listen to all type of music, whatever keeps me going. I like motivational music, stuff to keep me going, going through the struggle, coming out of the struggle, just music like that, man, just to keep me going, dude. So
So Katy Perry and ACDC?
I listen to the little Red Hot Chili Peppers, you know what I'm saying? I listen to them.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with them. They're going to be in town too.
Yeah, dude, I listen to a lot of that.
So do you carry any tools with you on the truck, like for certain repairs?
I carry tire plugs. I carry an air hose, that you connect to the glad hands if you need to get more air. Stuff like that. Like I said, for the most part, I'm pretty local. I really don't go too far, so I'm always within reach. That's why I stay within. Of course, I'm from South Florida, so anytime I'm down here, my best friend's a mechanic. I have a good friend of mine that's a mechanic in Tampa. So there's really never no need for me to carry tools. I can always make a phone call. That's why I really typically don't like going over the road. Because I need to be within my safe zone.
Yeah, your comfort zone. You got your guys to help you when you're in a pinch.
Right, right, right. And I have that backup money that I was telling you about. So if I ever do go out of town, I know I'm covered because I have a certain amount of, I basically have an escrow for myself that I keep. If something does happen, I can take care of myself.
So I know you said you do hazmat quite a bit. Would you say out of all the loads that you've done through your career, is that the one that's more profitable?
See, it's hard for me to say that because I've never really done anything else. Pretty much my whole career, either I've done equipment, I've done like construction equipment, or hazmat.
Right.
Pretty much hazmat is my way to go. I love doing hazardous stuff. If it's not hazmat, I would like to do moving equipment, excavators, loaders, stuff like that. But right now, I'm just dealing with the hazmat. But maybe later on in the future, I do plan on maybe getting a step deck or something like that, and probably do some small equipment, some excavators out of Georgia or something like that later on in life. Right now, I'm leased to a company, but maybe one day I plan on getting my own authority and doing my own thing.
That's great because that's literally the next question I was going to ask. What are your plans for the future in your career?
Depending on how the world turns is where I'm going to take my career with truck driving. Like I said, I've been doing it 19 years. I love it. But with all these new rules and all this new stuff that's coming out, it's making it very difficult for, old school truck drivers like me who's not just a regular steering wheel holder. I like to shift gears. I like to get on the CB radio and talk some shit and just be a regular old school truck driver, you know what I mean? And they're kind of taking that culture away, man, and it's just becoming real boring and it's just not the same anymore. So I honestly don't know how long I'm going to continue doing it, but as of right now, I'm doing it. But if it continues to change for the worse, I'm gonna buy me a food truck.
Barbecue? And then let's just say that everything's working out and it's you can see where you can make a profit. What would be the ultimate goal then?
If I can make a good profit and they don't damage the trucking culture too bad, I do see myself in the near future getting my own authority, uh, and just whether it's a step deck or a landall or a lowboy, whatever, and just start doing my own thing. I don't think I would get into the hazmat world because the insurance is super super expensive. I got a friend of mine's right now paying almost $8,000 a month for insurance doing hazmat because it's required for him to have $5 million worth of insurance. So he's paying almost $8,000 a month. So I don't see myself going the hazmat way, but going the step deck way or something of that nature, flatbed or something like that.
I know that you got your truck through LRM Leasing, and why don't you tell us the process how you started about one, I guess, looking for a truck, and when you found the truck and you saw that LRM Leasing was a good fit for you, tell us the steps what you did to get there.
Well, I went to 6 or 7 different places looking for trucks. Um, couldn't find a decent truck. Everywhere I went, I had a mechanic with me, and typically when you go to certain places, uh, and they know they're doing bull crap, and you got a mechanic with you,
They don't want you on the property.
they don't want you on the property, dude. They start acting a little crazy, a little shaky. So, if I go somewhere and I said, yeah, this is my mechanic, I'm going to look at a truck and I say, yeah, this is my mechanic. He's with me to check the truck out. Just watch body language. That's all you got to do. Just pay attention. People usually tell you what they're doing without them saying anything.
Usually, when I see someone bringing their own mechanic on here, I think I hand them a creeper.
I took my mechanic with me everywhere, and like I said, I got a few diesel mechanic friends. So it was, if one wasn't available, I had another that was available. Couldn't find a decent truck, man. It was just sketchy. The truck was sketchy. One truck I opened, I took the oil cap off, and I swear there was a McDonald's milkshake in there. You know what I mean? So it was just a couple different things, and I said to myself, damn, when I had my Freightliner, you guys LRM used to maintain my truck for me. You guys did my PM for me, take care of my truck. So basically I was like, who can I call to probably get me a decent truck? So I said, damn, LRM. He was like, I was like, well, right now all we got is Freightliners. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want that. And I was getting ready to walk, and he ran outside. He said, hey, wait a minute, wait a minute. We got like 2 or 3 trucks coming, man. KWs. Are you interested? I'm like, hell yeah. But I said, are they automatic or are they stick shift? He was like, we don't know that yet. I'm like, shit. Well, I hope they're manual because I don't want any more automatic trucks. I did the paperwork, did what I needed to do, and when the truck came, it was manual. It was, it was a little, it needed some TLC, but I did what I had to do, like I do with all my trucks. I take care of them, clean them up, get them detailed, and man, I tell you one thing though, that truck has been really good to me. I haven't had any issues with that truck, and I've had it going on 3 years now. No issues. The biggest issue I had was the water pump went bad, and I changed the water pump. Never had any issues with that truck, dude.
That's good. And then, so going through the process with the salesperson, they found the truck that you were looking for, or other than a Freightliner, we found something that came, and it was just paperwork, and the transition was pretty smooth for the most part. When you,
Everything
yes,
went smooth, and because I was been dealing with you guys for so long that it was almost like, the truck is yours. You don't have to worry about anything. Just do the down payment, and everything's yours. So I mean, it went smooth. Everything was cool. The truck came in within about a week, week and a half, and I did what I had to do, clean the truck up, and next week, the following week, I was working.
nice. And then now, currently, you still have the truck.
Oh yeah, I paid it off. I just recently paid it off. About 5 months ago, I paid it off.
All right. So, and then depending on how the future goes, and how the world, like you said, goes, do you think there might be another future for another truck, or you're going to get your authority and figure that part out first?
I would like to get another truck. I would actually like to buy another truck right now. But I just right now with everything how the economy is going and how everything's going with the world, it just won't be profitable for me and my business right now. So just waiting to see what's gonna happen.
And I'm assuming when it comes to repairs, you keep some of the simple stuff, a quick air leak, or it might need a fuse. Like you said, you would probably plug a tire if you had to in a pinch, and the air hose in case you have to air up a tire just to get rolling. Is that correct? You would say that's fair.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, and then I guess we could talk a little bit more about the truck stops. When you go in there, what do you think is the number one rule of what you shouldn't do there, or what etiquettes you should be?
Number one etiquette: don't litter, don't trash the place. There's plastic bags. Keep a plastic bag in your truck. You got trash, throw the trash in the plastic bag, and then when you go into the bathroom to take a shower, whatever you're gonna do, throw it in the designated trash area. Don't litter, don't trash the truck stops. You know, it's for everybody, not just for you. You know what I mean? Just try to take care of America, period. Try to keep the place clean, no matter where you from, where you at. You know, but that's just me. I try to keep everything clean, you know, to try to do the best that I can for the country that I live in.
Do you ever run across an issue when you're at a truck stop where you got to help out another driver?
Typically, just backing up. You know, if I see a driver and I know he's like he hasn't been driving trucks a long time, you know, I'm always the first one to jump out to try to help because I would hate to see somebody damage somebody else's property because you know being a new driver and you hit somebody's truck or you hit something, that right there would destroy you. It will just completely discourage you, especially if you're a new driver. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? If you're in this to make money and you're in it to try to make a career out of it, you know, I would hate to see you damage somebody's property and then, you know, discourage you. Then, hey, I don't want to drive trucks anymore. I don't think it's for me. You know what I mean? So I try my best to help.
You guys all kind of look out for yourself, you know, look over each other in certain ways? Or is it like one, you know, I'm only going to worry about myself?
Well, I'm going to say this, and I hope this doesn't sound too bad. Real down to earth American truck drivers take care of each other. But when you come from different parts of the world, a lot of them don't understand the American way. It's just sometimes you come from different places of the world, they don't understand what it is to have that. You know, they don't respect that. You know, they come from different parts of the world, so they, you know, the way they live in that part of the world is different from the way we live here. So I would say, depending on the person, I would say yes.
Well, that's good. And then, so when you go, let's talk about repair facilities. When you go to a repair facility, I know it can't be your friends all the time, but when you go to a shop, and you said you're, you know, mechanically inclined. What are some of the things that you try to look for a shop, or just to make sure you're not, you know, taken advantage of, or maybe of a shop that just may not be as knowledgeable as you thought? You know, how would you look for these shops if you need, when you're in a pinch and you're out your comfort zone in Florida?
Typically, when I go to a shop and I'm not in Florida and I gotta go to somebody that I don't know, I'm on the phone with my best friend. He's a master tech and diesel mechanic. So just by hearing the person that's talking and diagnosing the problem, he'll tell me right up, straight up, if this guy's full of crap or he knows what he's doing. So I'm always on the phone with somebody who has knowledge of diesel mechanics. So I'm never in a position where I'm gonna let anybody or any shop screw me because I'm always 10 steps ahead of anybody, of any shop. So, and you know, for me myself, I always look, you know, how the shop is kept, how the owner treats you, how the mechanics treat you. Um, you know, number one thing is cleanliness. You know, are you jumping in my truck with all your oil and dirty clothes, or are you actually putting plastic over my seat, taking care of my truck the way you see my truck is being taken care of? You know, are you putting plastic over my seat? Are you changing your uniform after you've finished doing a big job to make sure the truck drives straight, or you just jumping in my truck with your greasy hands and your dirty clothes? Stuff like that I look at. Of course, before I go there, I'm paying attention to that right off the back. You know, of course, typically you have a couple bays. You're gonna have several mechanics. I'm just seeing how the shop is being ran. You know, ran. You know, you walk in, you can always get. Of course, you have your intuition, you have your feelings. You see how people are treating equipment, other people's equipment. So typically stuff like that I pay attention to. And if I feel like you can't respect my truck, then I just don't need to be spending my money there.
That's fair enough. Good assessment, I would say. Definitely for sure. And then I said that's a good assessment. I would definitely would follow that role for sure. And it's always like you said, it's good that you have a friend. I try to tell a lot of drivers that are starting in the industry, find that one mechanic at home that you can have a relationship with that can help you when you go to another shop, so you don't get taken advantage. Or sometimes just explaining to the other mechanic on the other end of the phone that might need some help to take some, you know, some direction. I mean, I tell the guys here, even in my own shop, I don't claim to know everything, but I do know some people that can help me find some information that I need. I used to be like in my 20s. My head used to be big, and I didn't think my shit didn't stink, but I tell you right now, my biggest thing is my friends on my phone. I mean, if I run across, I get stuck on something, just bouncing ideas off another mechanic goes a long way for me, especially to diagnose. I've learned in the past, when a driver comes into my bay, they have to leave yesterday and they showed up today. It's about the load. I mean, that's your home, that's your livelihood. I think as a diesel mechanic in this industry, it's fast moving. Patience. It's hard because you have not only the driver, but you also have the company on you, and then you have the shop because you have to make time to make sure everything's moving as quickly as possible, but also get it done right. So it's a stressful environment for sure for anybody that starts in it. I take all the work I do, personally. Like I want to make sure when I work on a truck, it's like I care about it. I want to know what the cause of the reason is. I just don't fix it just to fix it. I want to know what caused that problem. And so we don't have another one down the road. The only thing I could say, it would suck that if you go in there for an AC compressor and you go a week and now you need another AC compressor. Well, what caused the first one to go? You know, you know, as
You guys have you guys over at LRM are pretty good with that.
I try to be. I try to teach a lot of my guys because the biggest thing is I don't want to be the mechanic that throws spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. One, that's not a mechanic, and two, it's going to cost you a lot of money, and that's not our intention. Especially, the people I work for, and I love working here with LRM. Just the fact that their moral compass is the same as mine. I'm big with owner operators just because I have them in my family, and I've seen it over the years where it's not fair to you guys. And where these trucks are, it's very expensive. We're exhaust. When we had an exhaust leak back in the day, it would only cost you a few $100s, but now it's thousands of dollars, and it's hard as an owner operator. A soot sensor or a knock sensor. I mean, or a DPF, DPF system or the after treatment system. Period. That's going to break the bank. It used to be where you would have to worry about injectors and turbos. Now it's that plus more. It's hard.
And I think that's the reason why I'm gonna stick with my truck. I would never get a newer truck. I mean, I always like the older trucks, so that way, I believe the less electronics you have to deal with, the better.
I've had people over the years tell me what kind of truck would I would drive. I was like, it ain't what you want to hear. It's going to be stick. It's going to be in the 1990s. And everybody's like, "Oh, you're a Freightliner, though." I was like, I like those 379 Peterbilts.
Okay, all right.
That's mine. And then the two motors I would have in it would be a Detroit or a Cat. I love those things. I'll go
Oh yeah.
10, 13 speed, but here's the only problem: I don't love driving over the road.
I hear you.
I don't know how you could do that because I'll tell you right now, I'll be the guy in the loony bin talking to myself
It's hard.
from that movie Castaway, right?
Oh yeah.
I'll be talking to Wilson.
It's not easy, dude. I mean, but one thing about it is you do get a lot of time to yourself. You do get a chance to know yourself really well when you're in that truck by yourself. I mean, you know your do's and your don'ts. It's not easy. Being away from your home, especially when you are a very family oriented guy. I hate it. I don't see how some guys do it for 2 weeks at a time or even a month. I couldn't do it. That would literally just like drive me over the edge, and that's why I've decided to only work 4 days because that's pretty much what I can withstand being away from home. It's not easy.
Do you have anything in the vehicle like an animal that keeps you company, or is it just strictly you?
Just me.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any like? Do you talk to friends over the phone just to keep you awake a little bit on the
Oh
back?
yeah.
You guys
Oh yeah. I mean,
close.
I'm used to it though. I don't usually. I'm pretty good with driving. I'm pretty good with driving with minimum time or whatever. I can drive for hours. I once drove from Illinois back to Florida. That was 17 hours straight, dude. I'm not in a truck, but in a car. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure I say that. Yeah, I'm pretty good with driving, dude. But I have plenty of friends that work at night, that work in the day. I have plenty of people that I can talk to. If not, I cut on some music or I just cut on the audio book and just listen to a book or something. You know what I'm saying? But I keep myself going.
What kind of books do you listen to?
I like love triangle shit.
No. Okay.
Like love affair stuff and people cheating on each other and shit. I just like that crazy shit. I just like that crazy stuff, man. But that's pretty much what I do, man.
All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw today, hanging out with Shawn. You guys got to learn his path from the beginning to the end and all the crazy stuff in between. I would like to see you guys around at the next truck top. See you guys around. Ka-chow.